Let's now move on in the Adhikara of Striyam, which we started from 3394, and take a look at the Sutram 3397, which says Uti, Yuti, Juti, Sati, Heti, Kirtayascha. The vritti of the sutram simply says Ete nipatyante, which means that these 6 forms are given as ready-made forms by Panini. Forms are as follows: Uti, Yuti, Juti, Sati, Heti, and Kirti. Now we are in the Adhikara of Striyam, and we can clearly see that the affix ktin has been used in all of these forms. But there are some special operations which are implied in these forms. First of all, the anuvritti of udatta is coming down from 3396. So this affix ktin, which is used in all these 6 forms, is prescribed to have a udatta svaraha. That would not be possible had we not had this sutram. Of course, in the classical language there is no intonation, so it doesn't make a difference to us. But in the Veda, it does make a difference, and thus having the udatta accent on the ktin affix makes all these antodattaha. There is a udatta accent on their ending vowel. So that is one prayojanam of this sutram, is to make the affix ktin udattaha. But in addition to that, in some of these forms, there are some other special operations. Let's go through them one by one. The first form is uti. This is derived from the verbal root ava, which is avarakshana, from the bhvadiganaha. There is no special operation in deriving this form as such, except the fact that there is the udatta accent on the affix ktin. Now, in case you're wondering how we get uti from ava, there is a sutram 6420 which we have not studied. We have studied 6419 but not 6420. 6420 says jvara, tvara, sri, vya, vima, vamu, padhayascha. This sutram prescribes the adeshaha ut, basically the u adeshaha, in place of the ending vakaraha, as well as the upadha, the penultimate letter of 5 verbal roots, one of which is this verbal root ava, and that is only done when followed by the affix kvi or a anunasikaha or a affix which is kit or nit and begins with a jal letter. The affix ktin is a kit affix beginning with a jal letter, so therefore this sutram 6420 can be applied to replace the end vakara as well as the akaraha by the adesha ut. So that's how we get utihi. So here there is no special operation besides the udatta accent on the affix ktin. Now in the case of yuti, it's derived from the verbal root yu, mishrane cha, from the adadiganaha. Here the special operation is the elongation of the ukara of the verbal root. Similarly in juti, derived from the verbal root ju, vegitayang gatau. This is a sautra dhatu. This is not in the dhatu pataha. This is mentioned by Panini directly in the sutra pataha. Here the same thing, the elongation of the ukaraha of the verbal root is implied in the form juti. That's a special operation. In the case of sati, it may be derived from the verbal root so, which is sho antakarmani in the dhatu pataha, the divadiganaha. So here what happens is that first of all that ending okaraha of the verbal root takes the akara adesha by 6145, which we know adecha upadeshe shiti. But then what would have happened is that 7440 jyati syati mastha mittikiti would have replaced the ending akara of the verbal root by a ikaraha, but that is not to be done. So to prevent that ikara adesha, which would have come in by 7440, Panini gives the ready-made form sati. Or alternately, sati may be derived from the verbal root san, which is shanudane, from the tanadiganaha. In this case, the ending nakara of the verbal root takes the akara adesha by 6442, jana san khanam sanjaloho, and then akasavani dirgha to the form sati. But in any case, we still require the sutram to get the udatta accent on the affix ktin. And next, the form heti. This could be derived from the verbal root han, which is hana himsagatyoho, from the adadiganaha. In this case, the ending nakara of the verbal root is to be replaced by ikaraha and then adgunaha to get the form heti. So that's a special operation here. Alternately, we can form heti from the verbal root hi gatav vruddhaucha, from the svadiganaha, in which case the special operation is the gunadesha ekara in place of the ending ikara of the verbal root. Remember that the affix ktin is a kit affix, so normally 115 kiniticha blocks the gunadesha. but we want to get the form heti, so we have to permit the guna adesha. That is a special operation. And finally, kirti. Now, kirti can be kirti or kirti. Both forms are possible. So, sutram also could be written as uti, yuti, juti, sati, heti, kirtayascha, athava kirtayascha, with two letters the in there or a single letter the in there. Both are fine, as we will see shortly when we do the derivation. This is derived from the verbal root krut, which is kruta shabdane from the churadiganaha. What would have happened here in the absence of this sutram? The affix ktin would have been overruled by the affix yuch, which is prescribed by 33107, which we'll be studying shortly. The sutram is nyasa shranto yuch. This says that the affix yuch is to be used following any nyanta dhatuho. But the desired form here is kirti. So therefore Panini gives this ready-made form, implying that the affix ktin is to be used here, in spite of the fact that this is a churadigana dhatuhu, which takes the affix nich, and the nijanta dhatuhu would have taken the affix yuch by 33107, nyas shranto yuch. But now Panini gives the ready-made form kirti, telling us that yuch is not to be used here. Instead, ktin is to be used here. Okay, derivation is follows: kirtyata iti kirtihi. Kirtyate iti kirtihi. Krut means to repeat, to call, to recite, to praise or glorify. So that which is praised is kirtihi, means it is fame or glory. So this can be derived karmani. That which is praised is kirtihi, yashaha. So we start with krut. Since it is the churadiganaha, we have to bring in the affix nich first by 3125, churadibhyo nich. Remove the letters chakarasit sanya bhalantyam, nakarasit sanya by chutu tasya lopaha, we get krut e. Now we use the sutram upadhayascha, which we have studied. The upadha rukaraha, dirgha rukaraha for verbal root takes the ikara adesha and then uran raparaha, so we get kir the e. And now we use upadhayancha, which says that when we have a upadha repha or vakara for verbal root, in this case we have repha, which is followed by a consonant, which is a takara in this case, then the letter prior to that repha or vakara takes the dirgha adesha. So we do have a repha, which is the penultimate of the verbal root kirt. We do have a takara, which is a consonant following the repha. Then what happens is that the vowel prior to the repha, that takes the dirgha adesha. So we get kirti, which gets the dhatu sanya by sanadyanta dhatavaha. Now here I explained already, the affix yuch would have come by 33107, nyasa shranto yuch, but instead we use the affix ktin to get the desired form kirti as given by Panini in the sutram 3397. So we start with kirti plus ktin, remove the letters nakarasit sanya bhalantyam, kakarasit sanya bhalashakatadite tasya lopaha, we get kirti. Now the affix nich takes lopaha by 6451, nera niti, anidada vardhadhatuke pare ner lopasya, because the affix ktin has a sanya of ardhadhatukam by ardhatukam sheshaha 34114. We cannot take idagamaha because of 729, which we have already seen. So therefore this affix is a ardhatuka affix which has no idagamaha. So then what happens is that the prior nich drops, so we get kirti. And now we can apply jarojari savarne, because we have the repha, which is a hal, followed by a takaraha, which is itself followed by a takaraha. So we have a hal, then followed by a jar, which is a takaraha, followed by savarnaha jar, which is the takara again. Every letter is savarna with itself. So then what happens is that we have an optional elision of that first takaraha, and we get the two forms kirti and kirti, which gets the pratipadika sanya by krit tadita samasascha. So this is how this word is derived. Here the special thing is that the affix ktin is used and not the affix yuch, which would have been prescribed by 33107.